Hey, we're looking at the Complete Darkness Volume 1. This is that Kickstarter collection they did a while back. So very cool, and it has a signed book plate in it too, which is pretty radical. I can do that. And you'll notice I got a few little spots here. Don't mind those little tabs sticking out. That's just letting me know I have a torn page that needs to be fixed with some of this book glue, and I'll get to that after we do this book review here. Hey, I had a lot of fun rereading this series. It's been a minute since I've actually gone through the full thing, and I gotta say, reading this back to back with the Witchblade, definitely like Witchblade better. Witchblade is much more consistently good in my opinion, but a whole lot of fun nonetheless. I just feel if you're only going to follow one of them, that's the one to do it. This one's pretty great. It doesn't actually kick off with the introduction issue from Witchblade with him, even though that's in the book. It's in the back of the collection. This starts off with the preview here, and we got this really cool cover with Darkness and Angelus there. Very rad. So I guess in the collection this is your first introduction to Jackie, even though it's not, you know. But great artwork throughout this, very fun, you know, just like totally heavy metal. And man, I really wish I had my hero click with me to set on the desk, but I was looking through my collection and I couldn't find it. I don't know where it is, but I know I got it somewhere. I never got the hero click of the Angelus though. I remember seeing that. That was a super rare. I couldn't get a hold of it, but it was super cool. And here we got one of many double page flipping type stuff. That's how you know we're in good 90s territory. You got to flip your book. This book's got plenty of beefcake in it, but it again, you know, super cheesecake, just like the Witchblade. So depending on what you're looking for, that's maybe a plus, maybe not. You know, I can't say Jackie's my type, but you know, I'm leaning more in that direction. So, but the immature humor in this book is right up my alley. This book is targeted for a 14-year-old boy, and that's my level of maturity, so I'm right there with it. I just happened to find a bit more of the sex stuff just kind of humorous than anything else. And I will say, oh man, this is such a cool page right here. I will say, upon rereading too, and like reading it all together just in like pretty much 2 sittings, I gotta say I kind of forgot just how homophobic is maybe the wrong word, but yeah, just there's a lot of the you know, not just a gay joke, but like the idea is presented to Jackie of some homosexual behavior, and it's just he finds it so repugnant. And it's like, all right, man, you don't gotta be like that, but I ain't gonna let a little thing like that turn me off a book. It's just something I notice, and the fact that he is just so sex crazed. Sex is like one of the defining things for the character, and I remembered that was a thing and a part of his powers, but I didn't remember just how sex focused he was, and especially in this early stuff of it. Just there's this great bit I'll point out later where he has a temper tantrum, and it is so funny. Also, in the rereading everything straight through, I can't help but notice some conflicting things, just for just stuff that like I feel was developed later and not planned ahead. Like the fact that he goes to this bar and he's kind of acting like he comes here all the time, and he's going to talk to his friend that we find out he sees and has a deep relationship with, but like she's surprised by, you know, what he's getting for a drink, you know. It's just funny little things like that. And of course, we met him, Santine, in the Witchblade books. I already did a video on that Witchblade collection, Volume 1, and that was fun. But we saw the crossover and what happens with him in that. Of course, that's not the last time we see him either. But spoilers. This is all sorts of spoilers in this video. But yeah, we're learning all about Jackie. He's a not very nice guy, a real bad dude, being a mob enforcer. So, you know, not my cup of tea as far as the character goes. I'm not as endeared to him as I am Pinelli, because, you know, like, you know, Witchblade, the character's a cop. I'm all about that. This one, he's a mobster. Not as big a fan of that, especially if I'm supposed to be rooting for him. But this bit here where he gets possessed by the darkness, or I should say, it's expelling out of him as he's gaining his birthright, is pretty dope. And then we get these angels coming in, and they're so cool looking. I love this use of, like, well, you could say negative space with them. Oh, very cool. And you can see it, there's not really much gutter loss in this book. It just has to lay flat, and the book lays flat really well, but just not at the beginning. You got to get a couple issues deep before it flattens out really good. But I do like the level of gutter loss in this book, which is minimal. And that's great too, because these books, the art is the heavy focus. We get all this cool action, and I love the look of all his little demon creepy crawlies. And this here is showing some of that wonderful immature humor that I enjoy, where you know, Jackie's using his power just straight up send send that darkness through the pipes, and it it's so silly. I love it. Like, it's yeah, it's just so what a way to go. Oh boy, what a way to be found. This is a real cool cover too. But so much fun in this book, and that's the main thing I say over and over is fun, you know, because that's what I'm looking for when I'm reading some comics. And I love this, the shadowy cult. This guy is just such an evil son of a bitch. We've seen him do some gnarly stuff, and I just have a blast with it. Like, he's just a great bad guy. Oh, this scene, oh, that page, that is so funny. Just like sitting on the throne, all the like beautiful ladies just like strolling about. Shadowy guy. Oh man. But we have some fun with these cultists here, and they give him the whole skinny on the darkness, and there's the Witchblade, the Angelus, all that jazz, and I love it too, because you know, he pretty much tells them to fuck off, and he ain't having none of it. But they telling him all about his ancestors and how some of them squandered their power, some used it wisely. Very cool. And it's such a great costume too, that darkness. Like, it's just so heavy metal. I love the color of green too with the gold, and you get just the silver axe. It's a nice color combo, and it kind of leans into that thing you always see where oftentimes in comics villains wear green. That's like a villain coded color. I guess. And if you actually go back and look at all them classic superhero comics, you'll see that's the case. So I like that we get a little bit of that going with him too, showing the dark nature of his dark power. But yeah, this guy is so much fun. Such an evil son of a bitch, and I love seeing him emote like this here, where he's just like flipping out. And the powers he uses, like right here, kicking off the beginning. Of course, I gotta point out this Joe cover there. That's great. You know, the covers and the artwork in this, the pinups and things. I think I said cover before when I meant pinup. But yeah, just so cool. And that's why you're really checking in for the thing. But also this bit here where like using his power, convincing this fella, your mother was a prostitute, your father was her pimp, start believing now. Using that evil glow, and like, man, I love it too. Guy going crazy. And this bit here is so funny, and we're gonna get to the temper tantrum in a sec, but he's bringing this lady home, and she is so ready to get in his pants. Like, I love it. Like, they were just calling her retarded before in the last issue too. But yeah, this bit here is just great, because even with all the things going on, she's still into it. Jack even pops in here, and sure enough, the mob cleaner is just scrubbing things up and clearing out the angel that was previously after him. But yeah, I like this plan that she has going, where she's just going to try and sleep with him to kill him, because that's how his powers work. He doesn't know that yet. And so the cult is like rushing to try and cock block him. So this bit is so funny when they're busting through the door right as he's pulling his pants off and about to get it going on. And he is just not having it. But yeah, even with all this crazy shit going on, she's just like, let's get going. And he's like, you know, maybe I'm just not in the mood right now. Because a lot of crazy stuff is going on, you know? And so this bit right here where they take him aside, and he's giving him just the full lowdown on what's going on. His because you know, they already told him a little bit about how his powers work, and you know, his whole past and things, but now they're telling him the full-on like no sex thing, and he just flipping. He's crying on his bed, just shouting. It's so stupid. I love it though. It's funny. It's immature, but I mean, I went a while in between, and I think he can too. But I guess he ain't used to it. Somebody give him a hand. But this bit's real cool. Again, I love the designs of the angels when they got that whole glowing thing going. Very cool. So, busts out and ready to get him. But he's having none of it. Unfortunately, they got his friends, so he does have to cooperate with them. Much to his dismay, because he wants to tell everybody to fuck off. He doesn't want to deal with any of this. This bit right here was real cool though. A clever way to neutralize his powers and everything is bringing him out there into this area where there's nothing to cast a shadow, no anything, just bright sunlight. Unfortunately, the angels can take advantage of this this here too, and I do enjoy this this bit here where he ends up taking the one angel hostage. We'll see in this next issue. But it's set up really well because we set up the idea that he can make constructs, including a partner for himself if he dedicates himself and learns how to do it, which they're with the whole cult trying to tempt him with. But he realizing that she can do the same, and with how he's treating the one angel, you know, flip the script and get a hold of her, and so he does. And it, you know, it's a good way of showing that, you know, he's the muscle. He's just a mob enforcer thug, but he's got a little bit of brains in that noggin. Very cool. And I do like the design of the angels a lot. Like, I like them more when they're glowing, but it's real cool looking, and kind of ties into the whole, you know, Witchblade vibe and everything, which, you know, we find out a bit more later. I ain't one to like spoil stuff that's not in the book we're looking at, but you know, all the books do cross over and tie in, and I like that there's like a cohesiveness to them as far as like aesthetics and lore. Because sometimes when I'm going back and reading a lot of like older comics, it feels like some of the connective tissue is manufactured after the fact, like it wasn't planned out ahead of time, because that is truly the case. But in this one, it feels like things were more tied together, even if they might not have been originally. So yeah, that's one thing I do really appreciate about this book and the series. And I do like the immaturity, you know, like I say, it's aiming at that early teen boy demographic, and so we do get some over-the-top violence, but it's all very comical, like ripping off the head, but you know, it's just literally throwing the head there, blood splashing, but it's not like grotesque gore. Or like sending the darkness up his nose. That's so gross. Well, okay, I say grotesque gore, and then we flip in, we get that right there. I forgot that even happened, but whatever. That's funny to me. You know, that's like Mortal Kombat. I guess the difference between comical violence and gore and it being actually emotionally visceral and disturbing is really the maybe the detail, but also like how realistic. Like, are you really gonna do that? There's no way that could actually happen, so I'm laughing at it. You know, but if you just have like an arm bone poking out the bicep, that's gonna freak me out. I'm gonna wince at that, because like that's a real injury, and yeah, I'm shivering thinking about that. But that right there, that's just silly. But there is a fun irony in me flipping the page right as I say a thing. I mean, I just read this book the other day, but yeah, I've had a couple days just sitting on my feelings in the book since I finished it. So this is fun just to flip through, because it's like I'm speed reading it again. But I'm more focused on just enjoying all the artwork as we're flipping through this, because that's what this is all really about, is just how gorgeous everything is. I do love that design. That's cool. Just like those big, massive horns. So flippin' cool. He's a funny little guy. Smoking in the hospital. Apocalypse shortly. That's it's a funny title for a story. Don't want to be flipping the pages too early or nothing. But yeah, this is real mean here, where they show Jackie talking, and of course she's prisoner, so that he'll work with them. But they're showing him talking about her and saying how he has no romantic feelings for the lady, just rubbing salt in the wound, you know, because she got a thing for him, you know. He thinks of her as a sister, but she thinks of him as like that sexy older guy who's always looking after me. But trust me, girl, you're better off without him. You're better off. But they're just tearing everything apart looking for him, because they are pissed. But sometimes you get your emotions too amped up and heavy, you know. You're not thinking properly and you make some ill-informed decisions. She doesn't fare too great in this. And see, like when I was saying earlier, a little bit of homophobia and such. This fella right here gets the brunt of it. Just like a poor fella, he gets his balls bitten off by the demons. You know, he's just trying to help Jackie out. He offers, you know, like, if you want to have sex, you don't want to die, you know, I can help you out. And it's like, bro, he's a pretty cute guy. You know, you can do a lot worse. Like, you know what I'm saying? But they just give him the worst kind of crap for it. I guess that shows the change in times and such. I'm all for poking fun. I just, you know, equal opportunity joking about, but just with the how hyper heterosexual this book is, the fact that it goes out of its way to also shame and belittle the gays is just like a little like, I don't love it, but I like a whole lot about the book. So I'm just gonna complain about that. You know, that's what I do. That's why I do these book reviews and flip throughs and things. Is I'm just talking about my thoughts on the book after I read a thing. You don't gotta agree with everything I say. I don't gotta agree with everything the person writes. You know, that's just how it goes. But all the same, all the same, I'm really enjoying it though. I always get a chuckle when somebody just breathes fire. See, right here, this is the scene. It chomps him good in his pants. No fun. No fair. That's gotta hurt. Getting kicked with heels. Oof. Oof. Both these pages are pretty great. They just got some good, fun violence in them. But there we go. Talk about getting kicked with it. Some heels. Although it looks like the heel ain't making the nut contact, so he can at least count himself lucky there. But if I was her, I would have given him an extra stomp or two. Ooh, but she is looking worse for wear, I tell you. But, you know, this ain't the end of the Angelus, but, you know, she looking rough. So, boom, she gone. The power flying about. We'll see that later. So here we have them emotionally talking. Things are getting worked out, but you know, she just got to peace out because this is just all too much for her, and you know, she already got the revelation that he ain't wanting nothing with her like that. So he just moving on out, moving away, doing a thing. And, you know, that's just one moral anchor that he has lost, and now he's just set sail into the full darkness. But I gotta say, you know, if you're doing some bad stuff, having some powers is sure gonna help you do those bad things. I am Jackie Estacada. Got the Power Girl window going on. And Jesus Christ, I realize, like, he's literally going to a sex addicts group meeting. But let me tell you, if you actually are having a problem with something, you try and tamper it down. If you're a sex addict, you're going to be, and you're working on it, you're not going out dressed like that. And like, Jesus Christ, or even drawing the hard nipples on the yellow there. It's just too much. It's like, holy fuck. At least he's dressed modestly, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, he has his go at making some construct ladies for himself to work his aggressions out, but he does not fare well with that. Those are pretty goddamn frightening. However, his little demon pals, they just have their way. So, you know, some good dark gross comedy there. Get some good fightings going. But that's not doing well, because, you know, the mob's trying to do their own stuff. You have what do you call that? Like I guess I don't know what you would call it, but like criminal intrigue. You know, like the politics of crime, and we got the classic mafia going up with the Yakuza, and of course we've seen a bit going on with them before in the other book as well. Excuse the interruption. The cat was begging for food, and it was her lunchtime. But yeah, so we're going up against the Yakuza, and he's actually doing some things that aren't quite good, because, you know, he ends up kind of fanning the flames for the conflict between things, unfortunately, because he kills the wrong people when he shouldn't be, thinking he's doing right. But, you know, them Yakuza were gonna flip on stuff anyway, so he's better off doing it anyhow, if you ask me. But this is real cool right here. Everybody loves a good ninja, right? And this is very 90s, so, you know, excuse me, bump the camera there. Very 90s, so we're getting the double page flip, but we also have Power Ranger references, with the little girl calling him a Super Ranger. I thought that was a whole lot of fun, because, you know, I'm just a big old nerd. I like me some Power Rangers. But yeah, so many flipping pages. And by that I mean pages I have to flip the book for. And here we're getting the crossover that we've seen in the previous book. I went over this in the Witchblade book, but, you know, might as well flip through it as well here. However, I did skip reading it when I was reading through the Darkness book, because I had literally just read it the week before. I guess read it twice the week before, if you count my recording flipping through a thing. But yeah, I love that son of a bitch. He's so much fun. And this book does include both, talk about 90s too. I love just how much we see the World Trade Centers in this book. Happy belated 9/11 to everybody, who didn't watch whatever video I posted on 9/11. I don't think I said anything and planned it out because I just posted the thing, but if we don't celebrate, the terrorists win. So, it's good to remember, and, just think about a thing, have a little bit of fun with it, I personally like to make a cake on 9/11 just because, I don't drink anymore, and, so, I can't, like, have a toaster or anything to it, but I can make a cake. But just good to have a little bit of remembrance too. Although everything going on with this past month has been crazy, because just the day before that we had that tragic event with the assassination at the college with that Charlie Kirk kid. Very sad. Man, this is crazy too. That guy was only a kid, and then we got a bunch of other shootings too, and. I just today read that there was an attack at a Mormon church. Somebody drove his car into the church, and like a month before, somebody shot up a Catholic school. The world's going crazy. I tell you what, and that's why I like comics. Is just some escapist fun, some. Ridiculous, over-the-top stuff that ain't happening, and if it is touching on real stuff, it's not, I don't know, I'm having a good time with it. It's not dark like a lot of the real world darkness. But, yeah, and 9/11, just a really big, sad thing, no matter where you land on what's going on with it. It's always sad. Tragedy is sad, and it's good to remember. But don't think I forgot that was how the Patriot Act got pushed through too, and of course, Patriot's in the name, so it can't be bad. Yeah, right. So always good to stay on our toes and not let a horrible event get us all emotional and reacting illegally to things. I know there's a lot of cancel culture and free speech talk going on and stuff, and well, I ain't meaning to get into all that, so let me not, because these pages with all this art is a whole lot more fun than that bullshit. It's just sad that there's so much going on in the world, and just so much roughness. But what are you gonna do? It's like my partner says: problems of the world. I can't change it. But yeah, so of course the crossover's still going here, and. This right here, this right here is sad because we get the mind control going, and I do not like that. Mind control never feels fun. And here you can see it's laying much better now that we're just a little bit thickness into the book. It lays much flatter. Very flat if I don't have it on this little stub here, but I always like how a couple of these little dark creators are wearing some funny street clothes. This guy is real cool. We've seen all this before. Like I said, we flipped through this crossover in the previous video, but a whole lot of cool stuff. I guess it's good that I'm yammering about stuff not pertaining to the book during the crossover event that I already talked about, flipping through in a previous video. But we're getting the bulk of the action up in here, and it is just real dope looking, and I love how we're seeing more how the powers are working, and the projectiles and things. We get this crazy fight going because, you know, of course, their stuff ain't reacting well to each other. So cool. I like him a lot. Yeah. What would you call this type of top? Please, if you know, leave a comment and let me know what do you call that kind of shirt or top that he's wearing, because I think that looks just so freaking sick. And this is pretty nuts too, with him getting everything there. You know, he's sort of absorbing it all, and, you know, getting like the concentrated, just like everything sucked into him. But it don't go well for him, because that's gonna set off a bad reaction. Very cool. Very cool. But this right here. So funny. But you know, before I turn the page and get to it, let me just show you an example, because this is here one of the pages I got that's torn. And I just, when I was rereading through, I noticed I had a number of pages that were torn like this. But I don't remember seeing them like that when I originally got the books. But you see right here, they're just torn right at the top. So just got to go through and just do a little dab of glue and get those together, and do it one page at a time just to make sure that it don't glue any other pages to a thing. But that's just a little bit unfortunate. If I did buy the book like that, I don't remember it being a thing. But this page right here, this is what I was laughing about. It's so fun, and what comes of it. But the the demon dino skeleton, so ridiculous. And then he gets a good chomp. How cool is that? Hold on one sec. I'm going to refill my coffee. All right, we filled up. But so very cool. And here we get this page. Pretty rad. And Nottingham is looking extra pretty here too, I tell you what. Ian's like carbon copy of Jackie, but I don't know what it is, but I like him. I ain't really fond of Jackie. Just as far as I like sexiness, swagger go, but that's just me. Oh man, I shouldn't even bother flipping the book, should I? I'm doing this way too much. I joke about there being so many of those, but I forget how many there actually are. I should go back and just count, but I'm not gonna. I'm already taking a big chunk of my day just doing this review video here. Because of course I had to brew a pot of coffee before, and I just had to take a break to brew another pot right now. This is a cool looking page. Yeah, what a dream though. And yeah, here's the bit where where he's offering himself up, and when he does, I do like this little jokey, inquisitive face he's giving right up. That, well, I guess I can't really pull it up like that. I gotta kind of angle it a bit, but that one right there. But Jackie's reaction to that is not very nice, and he ends up tossed in the trash, which just leads him to a worse spot, unfortunately, which is terrible because he was just trying to help Jackie out, you know, like, you know, I'm happily coupled now, but I tell you, I wish I had somebody 10 years ago that cute giving me an offer. But here we're meeting more of the mafia family, including the daughter, who I guess you could say like stepsister's the wrong word, maybe adopted sister. I don't know, because you know he was adopted into the family, but he grew up with her, and they pretend to be friendly, but they're telling each other to fuck off all quietly. And you know, she'd being real lovey-dovey with her cat, but we see later that she's just a brutal cunt, and like straight up right here in this scene, she kills her cat in front of him to show him just how ruthless she is, and that she is gonna fuck his shit up. And unfortunately, she does just that by capturing our nutless companion and giving him a good torture session with this creepy guy. He's a whole lot of fun. And I love it because they're going to torture him to get all the info, but he just sees this psycho pulling the blade out of his arm and cutting himself, and he just squeals immediately because he's like, oh hell no, nope, don't want any of that. He just spills all the beans and tells them about the darkness, the Angelus, like the whole shebang, the cult that's after him and doing a thing, and she is intrigued. And what's so funny is that this is just batshit wild, insane stuff that he's saying, but you know, she buys it. Enough craziness is happening, things, and like she knows this ain't something he's just pulling out of his ass. All the same, he gets tortured anyway. And how fucking dark is that? This is terrible. And she is going to get that Angelus power and make it hers. And she's going to use that to fuck Jackie up. Now, it don't quite work how she thinks it's gonna, but so here we find out how the Angelus was originally tricked into thinking it had killed the darkness, because the Angelus at the time was kind of weak from things, and you know, not fully up to snuff. So they're able to trick it with the darkness creating its own doppelganger for the Angelus to kill. pretty clever and good use. You know, we've had the doppelganger thing set up multiple times before, so we know this is a thing that can happen. It's not coming out of nowhere, which I appreciate, because I hate it when something just gets kind of made up on the spot. All the same, you know, he eventually passes on his genes and loses his life, just as every other darkness person did. And this bit here is so dark, with Mr. Bowtie Torture Man coming up to Nutless Companion and offering him some tea. You know, just a little respite between torture sessions. And, you know, we're seeing more mob action. A lot of that in the book. And, you know, we're... I guess I shouldn't really gloss over this because it's important to the story, but we see that Jackie's mob boss, adopted father, you know, technically, you know, he calls himself uncle. They're not, you know, he's just taking care of them though. But anyhow, we see that the mob boss had originally tortured his wife's lover, who was cheating on him, and had him tortured in front of her, and this left her in a shocked, comatose state, like we saw her earlier. And that plays into things. I should have pointed that out earlier and not talked over a thing, because, you know, certain things are key for stuff happening later. But that's the scene we just saw there, and you know, we're seeing her being brutal and employing torture, and she doesn't like her father specifically because she witnessed her father doing what he did. So here's more scenes of that, with them at the table and comatose mother, daughter pretending to be kind of into things, them having a sort of happy dinner. Lots of snide remarks and things happening, and then this son of a bitch showing up, and more craziness happening. I tell you what, these outfits are I can't take it seriously. To me, it's goofy looking, but I don't know. I guess somebody could think it's cool. This guy thought that was cool. Obviously, it's not. I love how he gets what's coming to him, and he appreciates it. But yeah, so here we're seeing more of the torture happening, and her going into the trauma of stuff, and how much she hates her father, and hates Jackie, and she wants to just take over things and fuck their shit up. Mr. Torture is with Jackie though, and he just lets it loose, and I just love how this sick freak is into the fucked up shit happening to him, and and this bit here, like some of his last words are, he salutes him for just how brutal and great the torture is. Hey, you know what? You gotta admire the man, though. He lived by a code. It's a terrible code, but, you know, he went with it. He's not a hypocrite. He's not against torture when it's being applied to himself. So, you know, I can appreciate that. I hate hypocrisy in all its forms, and I want so desperately to be pointed out whenever I'm being hypocritical, so I can check myself. We all need to check ourselves. And I think, you know, with hypocrisy and such, it's often times we just don't see it. We're unaware of it. You're blind to your own sense of self. But this bit is great because she does unleash and get a hold of the Angelus power to do a thing, and you know, Sonatine, he wanted that power. You know, if he can't have the darkness, he'll have the light. But all the same, it don't go to the intended person. It don't go to the daughter. It don't go to the dark priest. No, it goes to Mommy Dearest, who's been comatose all this time, and she's reborn anew. Watch out. Move the table there a little bit when I was flipping the page. Are we straight? Yeah, we're good. Okay. Very cool, though. Very rad looking. Although, I want to say maybe a little bit more ornate and elaborate than the previous. Just, you know, with all the extra details and stuff going on, like the little silver going on and the breast piece there underneath the gold. And you can just see kind of the little details and stuff in the silver bits. But pretty radical. I love all these double pages and things. And if that wasn't enough of her for you, here's some more. We got it on the cover and that first page. Haven't you got a hug for your mama? Talk about mommy issues. Could you imagine if your stepmom, adopted mom, mother, like just from the point of view of Jackie, you know, now his now the lady who was kind of acting in a mother position, even if not actively as his mom, but was mom in the household. Now she's the one who's after him in the thing, you know. Or just imagine how the daughter's feeling too. She wanted that power, but it went to her mom. But she's elated that her mom is back and alive and doing a thing. And we got more page flipping. But yeah, she reacts instantly to the darkness, having that angelic power within her. But again, you know, he's not a good guy, and we see him, you know, taking sister daughter as a hostage, which is definitely a good way to do it, because if there's anything the mom is gonna wanna let be, it's that right there. Oh, this is very cool. But yeah, absolutely sad. She got all this power burning through her. She embraces her kid, and that power just fries the child because it's like too much. And so daughter ends up comatose just like mother used to be. Got some cool fights. That's a great double page right there, just with how everything flows. Super cool. Oof. This is sick and brutal how it's chopped up right there. But again, we see the play. You know, a little bit of that duplicate play as we were shown earlier. And she's a brand new host, just like the other one was week before. So easier to fool. Here we're getting some of these tales of stories, just like we saw with the Witchblade ones. This one starts out with a fun sci-fi story. I like this one. It works well too, even if you don't read the darkness, like it's fairly self-contained. Just about in the far-off future, the darkness host, and how the darkness envelops and controls everything, and a secret plot to overthrow him by creating a new star, because they've kind of wiped out light in a sense. So pretty radical. We get this story about this revolutionary who's trying to hook up with him and do a thing to be his bride. He ends up saving a child because the person was using a child as a distraction here. Of course, we later are told that this story was not quite how it seemed, but this is how it's originally presented. You get all the darkness creatures that are really cool and doing stuff. We learn about this woman who was part of this crew that she's landing. This guy ends up talking to her and knowing her. He's like, oh yeah, there are all some space pirates, but it looks like you and so aren't really too guilty, so you can chillax. And he ends up pretty much grooming her into being his bride. And she kind of likes it because she's lived really poorly all her life, and now she's getting all this good stuff going on. However, it turns out she's actually the daughter of that revolutionary person who was originally trying to shack up with the dad, or not the dad, but shack up with the darkness, and that would have made him her dad, kind of. But yeah, so we just get a little taste of that and a little bit more darkness, and then we jump back into it a little bit later. But this is real cool. This talking about the Magdalena and just the history of the group and such. And so we're seeing some Hitler fighting and getting that spear of destiny back. Get some palpable stuff going. And we also cut away with this bit with this one man, a street preacher, talking to this street walker and trying to convince her to repent and change her ways. And man, I did not like how that story worked itself out. Just a little sad. Because of course, she ends up getting murdered because the street preacher guy is a crazy psychopath. Turns out you get rid of the darkness by killing somebody immediately after they repent, and then they can't sin no more. I don't like that. Oh, I should have pulled out my Magdalena hero click. Man, them indie hero clicks were the best. My favorite one's got to be my Judge Dredd one, though, just because, it's Dredd. And it's actually a European exclusive piece, too. I actually traded with a guy online for it. Did like some, did some serious, shipping and stuff to get it. Fun, though. He's dope. What am I doing talking about hero clicks? No one here watching this is into clicks, but I do love that they had some, they had enough Top Cow clicks that there was an actual printed team ability for the Top Cow characters. So that was pretty cool. But there weren't a whole lot of them, but some key players. I would totally buy hero clicks again if they did an indie set. Just remake all those characters. But yeah, so we're getting more of that Tales of the Darkness stuff here, and seeing more of his beautiful dark world and the society that he set up, which is good and bad. But I love what's set up here with her actually, the acolyte, acolyte's not the right term. The advisor, I guess you would say, for the darkness, and she's kind of the real power behind things. And she wants nothing to do with her. Because she knows and sees her as a threat to the darkness's established power. And why is that? Well, hey, look at that. He ends up burning up and everything, but yeah. So recreating, being reborn. It's just a real fun concept. It's done real well. I will say that just as far as like the introductions and beginnings of things, I find the story, how it's set up and presented, and what they do with this Tales of Darkness series actually more engaging and interesting than the initial first arc of the Darkness that introduces things and gets us going. Like, I think this is a better start to a thing, especially if you're not reading it with Witchblade or alongside to get the full everything. But it's just done very well, and it's tied up good. And I would say that's worth checking out, even if you're not super into the Darkness as a whole. I really like those first two tales. The later tales stories are going to delve more into the past than the future, and we're going to look more at the origins of the Darkness. But this story going on right here with just the deceit in the church and the good church people and the bad church people, this just makes me so sad. But this fella right here is making this guy take the fall for him, as far as setting up the Magdalena and the Spear of Destiny being lost and all that. And you know, of course, that's all for some dark design. But I really dig her outfit too. It looks sick, just with the blacks, gold, and red, and just everything wrapped up and such. It just looks real cool. And you know, got that dope cape. But yeah, cut more to them. The sadness, I don't like it. However, they get kind of tossed into a thing, and it kind of puts them into the story that they'd only been kind of witnessing from the side. Ooh, yeah. Them scary critters, I love how they look. Just so gross and nasty looking. Here we're getting another Tales story. And I find this bit I find this bit kind of funny because, you know, I guess it is in the future because this is a future story that's told through flashback. But also they're referencing Laura Croft in here, which I find funny because Laura Croft is referenced as a fictional character, but of course she ends up becoming an actual character within the comics and ties into the whole Witchblade universe that includes this. So, you know, it's just a character being referenced as fictional and then being a real character within the world. A little bit funny. Yeah, so getting a hold of this book, telling some stories about the past, just about how things went down, what's going on, just the grim side of things. Ooh, that looks. Ugh. And the flashback to how the Darkness was created. Jackie's great, how many ever greats ancestor. and he's the bastard son of a gypsy. She burned at the stake. A lot of bad stuff happened. I'll talk about that more when we get to that issue, because there's a second part to that. This just kind of bounces back and forth between the Tales issues and the regular stories. That's kind of funny there. All I can think is he just wanted to draw Darth Vader. But I guess it makes sense you in a toy store or something, because that's where they're fighting. As we saw them like busting through into that mall there. That's a brutal page. Woo! Then we get all these like purple Elmos. Or, well, it kind of looks like Grover, but it's clearly supposed to be Elmo. Speaking of which, are Elmo and Grover the same race of Muppet? Because they look alike, just different fur color, but they appear to be the same type of Muppet, as opposed to like Kermit, who's clearly a frog. Fozzie's clearly a bear. It's in his name, but Oscar doesn't quite have the same thing going, but he's still hairy. Anyhow, let me move on. I'm just just thinking about the ethnicities of different Muppet characters. But yeah, obviously the Magdalena very tied to the church. The whole darkness thing not explicitly like found in the Bible or nothing as far as like being a thing, but clearly a powerful force, and within the history of this world, tied to the events of the church and things. Oh no. Like, I do not want to be the officers who open up a door to see this. That is not what you're expecting. That is so rough. Still, I don't know who gets it worse, them or him. Because he gets the fall real bad. And this right here is Duke convincing him. He's just like, man, I'm doing you a favor. So he goes before the High Court of the Cardinals, and he just says, yes, I did the thing, I take full credit, ... He thinks it's a good credit, but then he finds out, nope, not so much. They're just yelling at him, and before he can say a thing because he's confused, he gets a big old mask thrown on him, and they say they're going to throw him in the torture chamber, and it's just like, oh, fuck me. Poor kid. And that's how dude is able to enact his plans further without anybody being the wiser. Very cool page there. Whole lot of plot stuff I'm kind of glossing over, not talking about too, as I am on about the things I'm in. But if you're this far into the video, or you got any deep into it, I imagine you like Witchblade, and you watch that video. I imagine like you're into this whole universe, and you probably already read this, and you're just like looking for something to dig into and have some background on. In which case, thank you for joining me, and I'm glad you like this. But if you're not, like, I don't know, this kind of video is not the way to experience material the first time. And if I'm spoiling this book for you, if this is your, I want to learn about the darkness, I'm going to click on this YouTube video. Like, I'm not one of those dumb, douchey channels that's like gonna read Wikipedia for you and like just do the work for you so you don't have to read the comics. I'm doing this assuming that you either want to read the comics or you already have, and we're just getting into a thing. But, you know, like, I'm not here to just regurgitate. Oh man, the mess on her face. So gross. Also, put a shirt on, lady. Nobody wants to see that. Well, I mean, I guess probably like half the people reading this book do. But come on. At least have the decency to like pretend to wear something. I love the look of all these creatures. I keep saying it again and again. Such creepy crawlies. But yeah, this is the sadness. I hate this where we catch up with Street Preacher and see that he's done a nasty deed with the Streetwalker. See, that's why life on the streets ain't good. If you are described as street anything, you probably went a little bit astray on stuff, and you need to get back on track. Although I will say I do enjoy a good street musician, so there is that. Don't let me trash talk too much. You know, like somebody out there doing the hustle of just playing some music, like God bless them. I'm all for that. That is actually fun. But we're catching up with that More Tales thing, and here we're going to get the Descendant actually given the full spiel of where his powers came from and what happened, because like he doesn't really know, but he had a gypsy lady tell him about it and reveal it all to him. You know, his mother being persecuted and treated as like a heretic and what have you here, and just this nasty curse, and the old gypsy witch lady tells him that it's within him, and he's like, you know, it's just a story she told me to make me feel good and strong as a young child, but who knows, maybe there is the real darkness thing. We don't know. So creepy looking. And like, big spoilers, we know who's under that mask right there, I tell you. And it's kind of funny and ironic that the Sonatine fellow, you know, used to be working for the church and the light side of things, because before he was talking about how he'd much prefer the darkness, but he'll take the light if he can. However, here we see him actually getting overtaken, and the whole thing happening with the darkness coming out, and he just goes batshit wild, tearing people apart. Very cool. You know, it's all being unleashed, and I dig this darkness outfit as well. Like, you gotta love a cape. I'm a big fan of capes. You know, like, if I could pull off a cape, I would. But I'm not dorky enough to actually try. But yeah, and those, like, what do they call them, pauldrons? Very nice. And I like how he's got the full face mask too, although I do enjoy the half mask of the regular costume we see. But yeah, that's just a quick summarized origin, and then we have a Tales of the Darkness issue 1/2. I always think it's kind of funny when they do that there, but so we get a little bit more flashing back, talking about the different darkness we have, and we get this one here, and all the terrible shit he's got going, and his empire, and he's got his mother who's watching his back and trying to make sure he stays celibate so that his dark kingdom can reign. And I like his crown. That's real cool. But yeah, so here we see the Magdalena, not Magdalena, I'm sorry, the Angelus showing up, and it's actually submissive and talking and saying how it actually, it realizes there's a new order of things, and it wants to work with him. It wants to it wants to submit to him and carry out his will. She realizes that he's got the he's got control of things. You know, he knows what's what. But of course, this is really just a plan of hers, because she's trying to sleep with him and you know, take him out, which, you know, it happens to be the case. So the moral of the story is, you know, don't go sleeping with strange people. This book is a very good case study for and argument for either celibacy or monogamy. You know, you ain't gonna run into shady people if when you go home with them if you've been dating them for 3 or 4 months. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna get an STD when you're married. Ain't that funny, but the camera actually stopped on me while I was still recording. So we got to redo it right here at the end. But yeah, all that saying here, right now is where we get this small little introduction, and we get that first issue where we have that issue 10 original appearance in the Witchblade. I think this would have made a lot more sense if it was placed at the beginning of the book as opposed to the end, and have this, then the preview issue, and then the beginning issue 1. But I see why they did it like this, just because the story doesn't really fit into the pacing anywhere in the book. But all the same, it's nice that it is in here, because it'd feel a little incomplete if it wasn't, just with it being that first appearance, even though it doesn't really pertain too much to the overall main story with how everything proceeds. But had a lot of fun going through this book. It was a good read going through it, and yeah, good time flipping through all these pages with you here. That's real sick. I dig that. That's a good page. But again, you know, when you're towards the end of the book, that gutter there is a little bit more apparent. Doesn't like just quite as flat and perfect. But got a lot of good pieces of artwork in here in the back after we get to the credits here, showing all the art, inker, and the writer there and everything, and you know that does bounce around too. But you have some good consistency, and I do gotta say, for having multiple writers and such, it doesn't feel like there's too much out of place or anything. Everything does feel like it goes together really well, fitting together with those puzzle pieces. That one's real cool. I like that one. That one's pretty neat. But this one's sick, with all them little critters down there, and those cool horns and the wings. I like how you got the flame coming up there. I like the glowing colors on this. This has great glowing colors too. This is a good one. I love that heavy metal pile of skulls. But yeah, there we go. Then you just have that Volume 1 Witchblade, which we already looked at. More Top Cow stuff. I had a great time with this book, I tell you. And if you stuck around this long, you probably had a good time too. So thanks for joining me. And like that video if you stuck around this long. Leave me a comment answering some of those questions, or just let me know what your favorite part of this was, because, you know, best part about comics is talking about them. So let's talk. Thanks for joining me. We'll talk to you later.